Chevrolet is extremely proud to bring the Caprice PPV police patrol vehicle to the market. It's a large sedan with a rear-wheel drive, V8 power, roomy trunk. It's ideal for police work. GM Fleet Commercial has an advisory board of police officers, police chiefs, sheriffs. They really give us feedback on what they're looking for. We really work with them on the attributes of the vehicle that they needed most for their service. One interesting example is they needed a seat that was supportive, yet would accommodate all the equipment they carry on their belts from radios and the like. And we put a seat into production that's the exact result of that feedback. Chevrolet is very proud to add the Caprice PPV to our lineup. In addition to the Caprice, now we also have the Impala and the Tahoe police patrol vehicle. It's a great lineup of police vehicles to meet any department's needs.
Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is Tuesday, January 4th, 2011. I have to take my time when I say that because I don't want to get it wrong. But welcome everyone to this War on Terror, Liberty, Sovereignty News segment. I'm Darko. I usually ask new listeners to please check out my website, www.ggnonline.com. That's ggnonline.com. You just saw a video from Chevy that was sent to a buddy of mine, and it's to his what was it? To his email or something like that. But either way, it's just kind of weird that he received that. And then we're going to start off because I have I'm going to break this down and do about 2 or 3 videos because I have all this news backed up from right before Christmas where I stopped making the videos and took a break. So bear with me, everyone, and I appreciate you checking this out and taking the interest in this type of information. So let's get started. Belarus president reelected, others cry fraud. There's a lot of these elections that are going on where the UN and these other types of NGOs basically are supporting these winners, and then there's all this commotion about fraud because the people don't want these new puppets. So I'm seeing this in different countries throughout the news in the past month or two with all these elections that people are up in arms because it seems as though they're not getting the person that they want to represent them. The authoritarian leader of Belarus was declared Friday the winner of an election condemned by international monitors and his challengers as police rounded up carols singing protesters into the prison where most of the challengers are held. See, international monitors. You like that? You're being monitored by an international body for your sovereign election. So let's move on here. UN peacekeepers come under threat in Ivory Coast. Some people yell UN out as the Jordanian UN peacekeepers pass by in their armored personnel carriers, but these soldiers don't understand French. One man honks his horn before dragging his thumb across his throat in a gesture that cannot be understood. How could that not be understood? It means they're going to slice your throat if you don't get out. So you can see what's going on. Hawaii's governor wants to reveal Obama birth info. So Democratic Governor Neil Abercrombie and Finch wants to find a way to release more information about President Barry Soetoro's Hawaii birth and dispel conspiracy theories he was born elsewhere. See, they have to say conspiracy theories because then that makes it sound juvenile and somewhat ignorant, right? So we're just asking for the truth, right? We just want to know that this president is eligible to be a president, and he's not just some dude that was born in Indonesia or Africa, wherever the hell else, he lived. Of course it says Abercrombie was a friend of Obama's parents and knew him as a child and is deeply troubled by the effort to cast doubt on the president's citizenship. See? He is deeply troubled. The newly elected governor will ask the state attorneys general office and health officials about how he can make public more of Obama's birth certificate documentation from August 4th, 1961. So see, his buddy is going to make sure that the disinfo and the lies spread and keep going. But in fact, I was listening to Freeman Perspective yesterday, and he was actually making the point, or proposing the idea that the powers that be want us to know that he isn't a citizen. So maybe eventually we'll learn that he wasn't a citizen. So that we can accept that, just like everything else, we just capitulate and accept whatever it is that's being shoved down our throats. And this may be one of those, that we just accept a person that's not even a citizen, a natural-born citizen of this country, because we're not, but like I said, the powers that be, these NGOs, these international monitors, are pushing for global governance and for each country to secede from their little sovereignty that they have or had. So no more nationalism, and this would go right in line with it, to have a president that's not even a natural-born citizen and is illegitimate. Of course, Bush you had forced into presidency, and then you had Clinton, who was totally humiliated. So the role of the president, the dignity that he or she had, is now gone. So those were three things that have taken place in the past 20 years. And 14 states may target birthright citizenship. Arizona state politicians will introduce model legislation this week to encourage states to prevent children of illegal immigrants from being granted citizenship under the 14th Amendment. I am pro-stateless society, pro-no government, so I don't like getting too into these type of subjects because I think that down the road they're going to be used against you, like I said, as the borders are open, and they continue to be open and open wider, and so that the North American Union can really be visualized and completed, and that eventually they'll start referring to it as a North American Union, so they don't freak out, quote, conspiracy theorists or constitutionalists. But eventually that will be part of it, to where if you want to be a freeman, if you don't want to be a part of the government, and you don't want a social security number, oh, good luck. Because, think about it. Where are you going to go? This is just making it harder for people like that. Nigeria leader, Ivory Coast solution to take time. It says, we're going to keep moving here. All these links are posted. I'm probably going to get through most of the headlines, but just stick with me. Police open fire as protests spread in Tunisia. Demonstrators demanding jobs clash with security forces as protests spread across Tunisia. A social eruption on such a scale is virtually unprecedented in this highly repressive and tightly controlled North African country. That's right. There's an African Union, there's an Asian Union, there's a European Union, and yet we're still not even calling the Security and Prosperity Partnership that was signed into law as legitimately. It's the North American Union. That's what we're living in. So Americans will be the last one to know to realize that, though. Draconian press laws in the EU's new presidency, and you can check this out. We're going to keep moving here. Israeli walkouts cancel Medvedev visit. A walkout staged by Israeli foreign minister workers have forced Tel Aviv to cancel an official planned visit by Russian President Dmitry Medvedev. And keep moving here. We have this article, which I'm not really sure what happened to it. All right, so something happened there, but I got it fixed. Death of Bush aide is called a homicide. A decorated Vietnam War veteran who worked for 3 U.S. presidents was found killed in a garbage dump in Wilmington, Delaware, police said Monday. So there you go. Serve the state, serve the globalists, the bankers, and you end up in a local municipal dump. Salman Taseer assassination points to Pakistani extremists mounting power. One of the Pakistani's most openly progressive politicians was gunned down Tuesday in an act that violently highlighted extremists' tightening grip on the country, even as the beleaguered government struggled to stay in power. Moving on with Pakistan crisis deepens as governor shot dead. Says here the governor of Pakistan's central Punjab province, a senior member of the ruling party, was shot dead by one of his bodyguards on Tuesday, deepening a political crisis in the nuclear-armed South Asian nation. Barack Obama, or Barry Soetoro, whatever you prefer, approaches William Daley over the chief of staff role. So Obama, who gave up his little senator seat because he was a hand-picked puppet a decade before he even was running for office for the president, basically took on Rahm Emanuel as his go-to guy. And then now Rahm Emanuel is going to go back and take over Daley's position as a dictator of Chicago, and so now you have a little, like a nice revolving door. You like that, guys? It's all in the family. It has nothing to do with democracy. It has nothing to do with freedom. It's about the agenda. It's about the great work moving forward, and it will move forward because people will not open their effing eyes, and they won't see this. So now Rahm Emanuel will be the next mayor of Chicago. If he isn't, I would be very, very surprised. I've been saying this for months now, as the media pundits are talking about, oh, he might be. Oh, now he's eligible. He's gonna be the next mayor, guys. I'm not. I don't know what else to say. My uncle, who is a millionaire, works at Board of Trade. He tells me on the side, they're basically the Jewish mafia runs Chicago. So I don't know. Without being an anti-Semite, how that's going to sound, but for whatever it's worth, that's all I have to say about it. Emanuel in, Meeks out of Chicago mayoral race, and this is pretty much what I said. Meeks stepped down, and then now just in the recent propaganda rags here in Northwest Indiana and Chicago, it says that Emanuel is now eligible, so now he's eligible. So it's all just puff pieces to make it seem as if this is some kind of grassroots process. So from the Pentagon to the private sector in large numbers and with few rules, retiring generals are taking lucrative defense firm jobs. Well, when you're living in a corporatist fascist society that depends on the military-industrial complex, that makes sense, right? So you can check that out. Links will be posted. Disgraced ex-Israeli president convicted of rape. Former Israeli President Moshe Katsav was convicted of rape Thursday, a dramatic fall from grace for a man who rose from humble beginnings to become a symbol of achievement of Jews of Middle Eastern origin. Yeah, that was a pretty sad story. U.S. General deal with tribe and Taliban bastion. Says here from the AP in Afghanistan, the leaders of the largest tribe and a Taliban stronghold in southern Helmand province have pledged to halt insurgent attacks and expel foreign fighters from one of the most violent spots in the country, the senior U.S. Marine general said in Afghanistan. So I wonder if they, just like they do with the NATO trucks and that, they just pay off the Taliban, they don't strike them. I'm sorry, no, they hit the NATO trucks because they don't pay them off, but they don't hit the U.S. ones because, they pay them off. So maybe they just paid them off enough to halt the violence for a month. Oh, look at this, drug cartel purportedly offers 1 month truce. Oh, isn't this just so to be expected, guys? Because it's all a bunch of BS. It's all a scam. It's all what they call a racket. So it makes sense that they would just, we're going to stand down, right? Now, the drug cartels work for the bankers because the bankers make a lot of money in laundering all that drug money through their big banks like Wells Fargo and Bank of America and Chase and all them. So they're actually the ones that run the drug trade. And the drug trade is the government down there. Israel arrests 2 UK consulate workers in Jerusalem. 2 local maintenance workers at the UK consulate in Jerusalem have been arrested by Israeli authorities on suspicion of selling weapons to Hamas militants, officials said. And moving on, British consulate employees in Jerusalem linked to terror attack. Employees of the British consulate in Jerusalem were arrested by Israeli police investigating a planned terror attack on a sports stadium. It has emerged. Moving on here to a Press TV article. We already covered this. Iran hangs man convicted of spying for Israel. Ali Akbar Sadat was sentenced to death for spying for Mossad since 2004 and executed just 2 days after confessing in trial. Israeli companies to help build Palestinian city. And we're going to move on here. Palestinian home demolition soar. I wonder why. Israel has increased the demolition of Palestinian homes in East Al-Quds, Jerusalem, as part of a broad policy to drive Palestinians out of the city, says a new report. Israel using deadly CS against civilians. And then here, Israeli military officials challenge account of Palestinian woman's death. And they're talking about CS gas and how it's going to be a debate because they're not sure if it actually happened. 2 Israeli airstrikes target Gaza. Israeli warplanes have conducted airstrikes on 2 locations in the Gaza Strip, but there have been no immediate reports of deaths or injuries. Moving on, Israeli rabbis ban women from driving. Israel asks U.S. to release convicted spy. And we're going to move on here and finish up. Lebanon indicts general over espionage. And he was spying for Israel. This is GGN. Join me in part 2. I'm Darko. Thank you.